All right, so we've talked about paragraphs and sections and front matter and some of the basic macros for creating a simple document. Let's talk about some of the structural elements we can define within the document text. We've seen this begin document, end document, and this is a type of macro that begins a new environment, in this case the environment that is the main body of our document. Within that, there are available to us a number of similar environmental macros for defining things. For example, begin itemize is available to create a bullet list. So here I'm just going to have some text before and after, and within my bullet list I can define items. So this is the first item, the second item, the third item. And again, it doesn't really matter if there's like multiple or if there's spaces. It ignores all those things, and it's going to decide that based on the style, the amount of white space it puts before and after an item is sort of defined. The appearance of the bullet is defined. What you have to worry about is structurally what you're going to say in your bullet list. The fact that you want a bullet list, the fact that it begins in this document. You can see here, I did not put two new lines, so this paragraph of Lipson text is structurally part of the paragraph that includes the bullet list. If I had put an extra new line, I would be defining that there's a paragraph, and part of that paragraph is a bullet list that has 3 items in it, and then there's a new paragraph, and that new paragraph has the second paragraph of Lipson text in it. We'd see now I get an indentation that is structurally recognizing this is the beginning of the next paragraph. So this is the basic environment for constructing bullet lists. If we wanted a numbered lists, there's the enumerate environment. If I build this, we see that this is now a numbered list. As I said, anything with numbers can be referred to later, so I could label this Baz. Again, it's a question mark. I have to rebuild it. And at that point, it inserts the number that's associated with what I had labeled. This is really nice because then if I restructure this, all the items are automatically renumbered and updated, right? So if it wasn't so obvious, like this wasn't called first, but it was called like apple, orange, banana, and I said, oh, I really want the apple to be the last thing in the list, then we see that this has sort of payoff in terms of the numbers are kept in line. There's also a description environment. Which is more for adding things that need to be sort of defined, like they would be in a dictionary or something, where here the item receives some information. So I'm going to say orange. The orange. They're intended to hold longer text, so I'm going to throw some Lipsum data into it. We see that it bold faces what is the name of the element, and it indents the description of that element. So it's a really useful environment for describing terms or defining notation. And it adds a little extra white space in after the end, as if it was like something that was structurally the end of a sentence or something. You see that I took away the reference, and so this item number has gone away. If I hadn't, it probably would have picked up the item number associated with the section number or something. It probably would have put a 0 in, or would have put a question mark in. Let's put a label back in to show that labels don't really work here. Baz. It's question mark. If I made this a section, oh, it didn't pick it up. Good. That works as expected. Oh, no, except I said Baz, not Baz. Yeah, it says item 1. It says item 1 because it grabs the nearest numbered thing, which in this case is section 1. So this can be a little counterintuitive when you are making references to things that are not numbered. LaTeX just basically tries the best it can and looks backwards to see what you could possibly be adding a reference to. So putting Baz here is no different than if I put Baz here. It's no different than if I put Baz here. And it, I think, is different than if I put Baz here. And we'll see that this might break it and turn it back to question marks. So I have to run it twice. Ah, it's blank. How interesting. But if I put it after my section and say in section ref, there is a list. It's super interesting. We see it's back to looking normal, or sensible.